Hello everybody and welcome to day 34 of the 60-day novel writing challenge, where we are going to be talking all about writer's block and how to overcome it. If you haven't hit that subscribe button below, go ahead and click it now, and whatever it is you're drinking today, grab a cup, cozy up, and let's get to writing. Writer's block just means when you get to the point in the story you do not know how to go forward. You do not know what to write next, and you just get stuck and you feel like you don't have any creativity, and you stare at your computer screen and don't write anything on the page. That's what writer's block is. And so I want to kind of address two different forms of it. And so the first one is when you get to the point where you just don't know where the story needs to go next. You just can't figure out what's the next thing to write. And then the second part of writer's block would be when you do know where the story needs to go next, like you know what the next scene is supposed to be, but you're just struggling to execute it. You're struggling to come up with exactly how to put it. So one of the easiest ways to overcome this is if you don't know where the story is going next, skip ahead. Don't feel like you have to write this in order and do chapter 1, then 2, then 3. Go write chapter 25. If chapter 25 is calling to you and you feel like it's going to be exciting, as you go and write it, it may give you ideas for what comes next in the story. So skip ahead. Don't feel like you have to write the book in order. That's going to help a little bit with overcoming writer's block of not knowing where the story is supposed to go. If you're at the point where you've already done that, you've already skipped ahead, you've already written out the scenes that you can envision, then what I would recommend is going back. You know, there was a day during the challenge when we listed out all of the different plots that were going into our story. So that was if you had characters who were struggling with insecurity, or you had a romance that was playing out, and you had one character who was trying to solve her best friend's murder, and another character who had an issue with their parents, or maybe all of these problems were part of one character. Every story has multiple plots, and so what I would recommend is if you don't know where to go, if you don't know what's next in the story, go revisit what each of those plot lines are, and then make sure that they're complete and see if there's anything missing. So if you have the plot about one character being insecure, make sure that there's a beginning, a middle, and an end to that. They grow, they progress in some way, and that might give you ideas for scenes to write next. Or if it's the murder plot, do you have your beginning, your middle, and your end to that? Did you have clear obstacles that your character had to overcome, and was there a resolution? You know, if there's an issue with their parents, make sure that you have a beginning and a middle end to that. So those should give you a lot of story ideas for where to go. Go back and re-examine what plots you have and see if there's anywhere that they are incomplete where you can fill them in by coming up with new scenes. So if you do know where you need to go, if you have it outlined really well and you know what your next scene needs to be, but you just aren't quite sure how to dig into it and how to make it good, what I'd recommend is maybe go watch a movie or read a book or consume some sort of content that is related to what you're writing. So sometimes I have, like, if I have a heist scene that I want to do, I'll go watch Mission Impossible, and I'll watch all sorts of movies like that that give me lots of ideas. You know, I'm not stealing them obviously from those movies, but they spark ideas in me of, ooh, you know, you see them doing such cool, crazy, impossible things, and you start thinking of ways that your characters could do things, but you know, in their own world and in their own terms. So you can use that content to inspire your scene and inspire where you want to go next. But ultimately, what you just have to do is hammer it out, and if you're still struggling, it's okay. Just let it be bad. That is all right. You can always come revisit it later. It might give you ideas as you write it out badly of how you could do it better the next time. So it can always be rewritten, but sometimes you just have to hammer it out, hash through it, let it be terrible, and then know that you will come back and fix it later. And hopefully none of us have writer's block yet, as it's only day 4 of the challenge and we spent 30 days outlining our books ahead of time. We should have lots to write about, but just keep in mind, you don't have to write it in order. You can write the book completely out of order. Sometimes that'll help inspire ideas earlier in the book if you write a later scene. But also remember that you can always read other books and watch other movies that are kind of related to what you're writing if you need a little inspiration as well. But then at the end of the day, just hash it out and see what happens. I have not hit writer's block yet. Yesterday I wrote 3,146 words, which puts me at a running total of 6,235 when our goal today was only 5,001. So I'm a little ahead of the curve. Yesterday I was behind, now I'm ahead. I want to stay ahead. All right, so the goal today, write another 1,667 words. You want to be at a total tomorrow of 6,668. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button below, go ahead and click it now. I will see you guys tomorrow for day 35 of the 60-day novel writing challenge.